Hey guys, welcome back to the water cooler on our little corner of the internet here at Sorgatron Media. It's the Movie Minute. Mike Sorg here, turning the knobs, making things happen, and with us is the man who tells me what I shouldn't watch this weekend, but I know I'm watching something the next weekend. It's Mulango at Rambling Mango on the Twitters, joining us from his remote command center.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. How you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you? So, did you see any movies? That's going to be my question.
No, all I saw was How I Met Your Mother, Walking Dead, and some Being Human. So at least I'm getting in the Halloween spirit with some Being Human and the American version, of course. Although I did see that there's another season on Netflix for the European version, but I'm a little iffy because I think I've read that the entire cast got switched up. It's a little weird when they do that. It's like, really? How many situations can a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost all end up living together?
Yeah, that's weird. That's one of the ones that I never got into. I know the big, I guess, Halloweeny ones are Walking Dead for me. That always seems to give me like an eerie pit in my stomach watching that show. And then the other one that I like is Grimm.
Grimm started up. Sleepy Hollow, I got caught up on that.
Is that going well?
It is. It way better. Like I mean, granted, my expectations were down here. And it's I think it's almost to Grimm levels.
Yeah, I might want to catch back on. I fell off. There was like one day during lunch, I tried watching it like 2 or 3 times. Something kept happening where I wouldn't finish the episode. I just have not caught back up.
But we're here to talk about movies, the stuff on the big screen or your small screen or whatever screen coming up. But first on the big, I know that it sounds like Netflix might be changing that from some of the news that we don't have on this show, but still. But hey, we brought somebody in. He's here. He's usually here anyways. But some of the talk I think he's going to be very interested in. John Chichilla at Chilla on Twitter is joining us.
How's it going?
He's going to be
I feel like I'm on like a time slide. I hit the time change like a week early.
Oh, did you? So we're just throwing it into the... Yeah, exactly. So, how you doing, Chill?
No, not too bad. Not too bad. Happy to be here.
We anybody that's been listening to us for a while knows our general line of movies. How much do you get out and see the big screen movies? Are you a Netflix guy? What's your deal? Just as a little introduction so people know where you're coming from.
I'm heavy on the Netflix. I am a cord cutter, but I actually DVR a lot of stuff. And then I'm heavy on apps, so like the CW app, different things. I probably make it to the movies once a month, once every other, depending on what's out. In the summer, I didn't see a ton of stuff outside of the Iron Man 3 and maybe something else, but it's all going to be dependent on what's in the theater at the time.
Awesome. Mulango, tell us what is coming up that we need to, or what has come up in the past weekend that we need to be interested in.
Well, what came up the past weekend? Well,
my tense is all screwed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll flip the order.
All right.
So the past weekend, we'll go with the past weekend lineup. So Gravity, the reins at number 1 have been taken away from them after 3 weeks of holding strong, and it went to Jackass.
Oh man,
Grandpa style.
Again, this looks like this is the most interested I've been in a Jackass movie in advance. But I love the theme. It feels like the Borat things. There's a character. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, some of the reviews I heard about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I think I will see it while it's still in theaters. Probably like really cheap matinee. But yeah, some of the reviews I heard were very mixed. Some people saying they don't like the story format that they opted for because I guess they didn't get it scripted. So it's kind of just like a general story that just kind of like bounces along. And then other people are just saying, some of the jokes kind of reach. I think I remember I think it was Jackass 3D, where some of the setups were pretty like long before they actually got to what they were getting at. So I'll be interested to see like a somewhat story format and how that relates to the Jackass in the Jackass world that is Jackass. But I don't know.
We'll
But
see.
yeah, I mean, for it to take off Gravity, which has been strong, I think that's a plus.
Still spent several weeks, and I think there was definitely a bit of a curiosity to it. And, I mean, it did amazingly for the big names that were in it. I never really saw much about the big names that were in it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they were trying to play up to that. And since I haven't seen it, I can't say how much of the original Jackass crew is in it. I'm assuming maybe they play a role, but since it is story and scripted, I'm not sure. So I can't testify to what it is. But I mean, if anything, by what you saw in the movies, I think it's very true that Halloween movies are not as strong as. I mean, we don't see Carrie on this list at all, in the top 3 at least. So I mean, it seems like people are going for more laughs than horror, which I think is interesting. I wonder if Paranormal, was it 4 that came out earlier this year, or I don't even know.
Is it 5? Well, I think I'm seeing 4 pop up on my Amazon Prime, so it must be 5. I can't believe. I was going to ask, are they doing a 5? Is that coming?
Yeah, I think it got approved for a 5. I think 4 was the one that we got earlier this year, I think, and then it went to Netflix pretty quickly, but they still made their money.
Well, that's the thing. These don't have to do like super crazy well because there's such a low budget thing to happen. I mean, it's security footage. I mean, there's some probably practical effects. I honestly haven't seen any since the first one, but I can't imagine they've gone too crazy. At least they didn't do something weird like when they went to like Blair Witch Project 2 and just did a full regular format for the movie, Yeah,
this is true. But yeah, so this week, real quick, the one movie that I did go back and watch Pitch Perfect. I guess my wife was in the voice mood, so I kept hearing a lot of singing on television.
Chachi really put that over. Said he actually bought it on like Xbox or Google Play or something.
Yeah, I bought it too.
I bought it on
iTunes. It's pretty
good. Everybody's and I've been what's that? Rebel Williams that's in it. I actually watched a little bit of her new show, Super Fun Night. Not half bad. Although
really, I haven't watched that.
I thought she was British.
I think she is.
She is, and she doesn't play British, but there's a British guy that she plays off of. I'm so confused. I'm so ethnically confused on this one.
That's funny.
It's like when I realized House was British.
I know.
Oh, is he?
They have.
I kind of get that. I feel like he is. I could see that.
Well, it was weird because on the final episode of House, they did like an hour-long intro, and it was narrated. I don't know what the main actor's name is, but it was narrated by him, and I'm like, "Who's this British guy?" And
it's like where did they get this British guy? Yeah, and there's actually they have something in Laurie on Hulu. I keep seeing advertised. I'm like, and I actually added my queue because I want to see. It looks like it's a comedy sketch show or something. So from BBC, but anyways, back to it.
Yeah, so I saw Runner. And this movie did horrible in theaters. And the big thing about this movie was a very strong cast with I don't know what happened with the story. And I don't know if it was based off true events, which I think I saw. But this is one that people should just let it come accidentally in your Netflix queue.
This is the Ben Affleck Timberlake one.
Yeah. And Timberlake isn't a bad he's not a bad actor, but it's just I don't know. We kept slipping into scenes where you're kind of just like, why are we going here with this? There's just a lot of you didn't care about any of the characters. It was almost a filler movie if you need to like do your laundry.
Really? Do
your laundry. You want some background noise. That's what it actually felt like. Something that would come on like is it Stars that does what's that like the channels that just do the no, not Stars, it'd be like USA Movies. So that's what I would say. I would say let this come on TV or it accidentally pops up in your mail on Netflix.
This is the one that you want the commercial for Burn Notice to walk into the frame while you're watching it, right?
Yeah. So I mean, that It was pretty sad, but whatever. It is what it is.
All right.
I saw it. I could check it off my list. Hey, you wanna do a quick break before we get into the big news?
Nope.
The big stuff that we
Nope. I keep forgetting to put one in here. I should really. That's why there's a question mark, sir.
Do you have a question mark? Because mine's highlighted in yellow.
Oh, I think we had a version problem last week when we did this. Yeah, I know. Otherwise, I just encourage everybody to go to sorgatronmedia.com, where we got everything else that we're working on here. We're talking tech. We're going to be recording that right here after this show with the Awesome Cast, Wrestling Mayhem show, and all the other stuff around wrestling. And, of course, Let's Play with InsertCoinToBegin.com, talking video games. And sign up for the newsletter so you know everything that we're working on and when we finally get a YouTube page up for this show. But in the meantime, you can, of course, this is over at youtube.com/Sorgatron Media and, of course, on iTunes. So, he's changing his lighting. I see.
All right, hey, let's get into some movie.
All righty.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
This was like the day. I don't know if it's the day or the week or whatever of trailers. Every superhero movie that we could possibly get seemed to have been released today. We have Captain America. Mm-hmm. We got X-Men. We got Thor. I'm excited. You can't see this. I'm pounding on my desk.
I can hear it, though. So this kind of lends to our discussion last week about superhero. Of course, first impressions. Captain America 2 came out last week, the trailer for it. I don't know what I expected out of Captain America 2. Of course, we had the throwback with the first one. That was very, World War II origin story. We had him continue into the Avengers movie. This is really the Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. movie. Doesn't it seem?
Yeah. Well, yeah, what I was reading was this is definitely, it takes place right after the Avengers.
Which we've been doing with, Iron Man and everything, too, so it makes sense.
Yeah. But to be honest, I know we talked about a little bit of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Iron Man, but it's more internal conflict in Iron Man 3 with himself and the situation and and what's really out there, as opposed to Captain America 2. I mean, this is, personally, the trailer makes me want to see this movie because I was not impressed with the first one.
Okay.
And I feel like when I read the plot for this one and I see the whole is S.H.I.E.L.D. good, conflict with S.H.I.E.L.D., conflict with himself, conflict with apparently his past, it seems like it could be intriguing.
Wait, do you know the story of the Winter Soldier from the comic book?
I read up a little bit on it.
And no spoilers, no spoilers.
Yeah,
I'm trying to really keep it quiet until my wife sees it.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much of it. And I forget the female lead. I just had her name in my head. I want to say Scarlett Johansson.
Yes, that's right. Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow. Mm-hmm. So maybe they'll also play up on the romantic part of that. But I don't know how much people actually care about that. That conversation actually came up in a podcast I was listening to about how superhero movies have really kind of shied away from romance. Besides Jean Grey and one other female lead.
And Wolverine. You mean Catwoman? Are you maybe speaking of?
I don't know. I don't think they really played up that much on Catwoman.
A little bit. Yeah, I think they have not, because you gotta think back to the Batman Superman movies. I think they were over-mired with the female leads. It's Batman's got a new girlfriend. Let's see how this goes. I mean, I don't remember.
She's gonna die.
She's gonna die. I mean, I don't remember reading too many Batman comic books where he had a girlfriend to deal with. There are a couple, actually, a very good Kevin Smith one that deals with that kind of concept, but he usually doesn't end well.
But the TV shows always do. That's the interesting thing. It's like they pull the romance out of the movie and they throw it in the TV show. If you're watching Arrow right now, which I'm really into.
Yeah, but Arrow is on the CW. which means,
which they pick
and
up every
amazingly,
DC
I'm just glad it's not like Green Arrow in high school, like they wanted to do with Smallville. You know, I mean, this is another tangent, but I think they've done a really good job with Arrow. It's not like campy Green Arrow. They're getting a lot of elements. If you saw the last episode of Arrow and you're like a DC, especially Batman fan, you just had a geekgasm at the end of that episode. Because some of the people that are popping up there and some of the names that were mentioned.
Superman or Batman?
What?
See, I thought the name that popped up was from Batman.
Oh, the one name that popped up is from the last Batman set of movies.
Yeah.
So,
they don't spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it because I know some people, even though it's been out for like a week, but still, you know. And of course, Black Canary's all over it, and they've done Huntress a little bit, and it's been a little weird how they did Huntress in that. But it seems like it feels like they're interjecting all the Batman stuff they didn't get to in the movies, you know, which makes you think, oh, are they going to cross over to that thing?
Well, they're doing that with S.H.I.E.L.D. too.
Yep.
I think they're doing that with the S.H.I.E.L.D. a lot. They're pulling a lot of different background stories.
They're throwing a lot of obscure characters. If you like this past episode of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you look up some of the names for that, what was his name? Scorcher, and even the girl that the girl in the flower dress. If you pull up her name, it pulls up a character. But it was like you look it up, it's like, yeah, this is an obscure character. Nothing was really done with them. It is established he's a mutant, you know. So it's like, oh wait, we can do mutants in the Marvel universe now. Like,
but they're not allowed to use that word though. I think
they're not. Yeah, I think that's it. Because I'm like, this really looks like these people have powers for no reason. They're mutants, right? But they can't say it because 20th Century Fox owns that for the X-Men franchise. So I think they're being clever and saying, well, if you know Marvel, you know what this really is.
But some of it they attribute to the Extremis project, which came out of the last Iron Man movie.
Exactly.
And they comment a lot about Stark technologies and how they contribute.
They talk about Captain America. They talk about the Avengers. I love that it's a TV show and it expands that universe. And I love that Captain America is, again, you're talking about it's coming right after Avengers. Iron Man came right after. Iron Man was, yes, there was a lot of internal stuff, but it's his personal reaction to what happened in this big Avengers movie, right?
And what I think what you'll see is over time as S.H.I.E.L.D. gets signed on permanently, I think you're going to see it being the bridge between all the movies, and they actually seem to be doing it extremely well with bridging the gaps. So S.H.I.E.L.D. takes place right after what happened in New York.
Yes,
I have a feeling that the Iron Man movie was a little bit down the road from when that occurred. I think it was like 9 months or something. I'm guessing that Captain America is going to be right after.
He had enough time to make 40 Iron Man suits, which I think is maybe one a night, but still, you know.
Well, he has the little machines. They can do it around the clock. But
you know,
wasn't it technically? Was it 40 was the last scene? I think there were more than that when he blows up.
No, Mark 43 was the last. The most current gen model.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I just remember the one shot where they pan down and we just see all of the suits. So I'm guessing those were the 43.
Either way, I love, and this is why I'm not tired of it, because I read Marvel, and if you read Marvel, you know kind of the flavor and the intertwining things. I love how everything connects. And you can say, okay, you know, something sprawling events like Civil War or something, if you read the comic books, they're like, well, this didn't connect with this. Well, they have a lot of books they're dealing with, a lot of different editors, a lot of different writers. But they're taking that mentality. Like, when they go and do the S.H.I.E.L.D. show, when they go do the Captain America, they go do the Iron Man, you do feel like they're sitting down with the writers and saying, this is the universe you're writing in, pay attention to it. You know, versus X-Men seems like it's not doing as well a job of doing that. You know, there's a lot of stuff they kind of disregard from the old movies. And I think that's the fault of some of the directors along the way, too. But there's a certain level of care to this is a universe, and we're establishing this. We're making our movies like we make our comic books.
I wonder if they took a page out of George Lucas's book, because George Lucas actually has a database.
Really?
When you write, because the books are so large, like there's such a large following in the book world.
Yeah.
When you write a book that interacts in that universe, you actually check in and check out characters and it forces you to follow timelines.
For the canon, like ones that they establish are canon.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What do you think about Star Trek?
That's really cool.
Think about Star Trek, and there's also the canon versus non-canon when it comes to Star Trek as well. Like I loved read like the few Star Trek books I read. I loved because it would always call back to like I remember watching that episode. You know, the kind of the same idea. How many Star Trek series and they all kind of intertwine and throw back, and you're rewarded for being a fan and follower of the entire thing.
Right.
And that's where I think Marvel wins. That's where I think, especially with this new series and with the comic books, that's where Star Trek wins. That's where Star Wars wins if it's done well. You know, but you know, granted,
J.J. Abrams can do no wrong.
J.J. Abrams is teaming up with that Empire Strikes Back writer.
I heard there's going to be the one of the events with Jar Jar in it. I'm kidding. Jar Jar is going to be like the premier character in the next movie. It's actually going to be his kid.
We're going to do a Boba Fett movie. We're going to do a Jar Jar movie, and we're going to do a I'd love to see a Jabba the Hutt movie. You know, I would like to see just like that. All like let's just do one. Maybe the Boba Fett one would more do this, but just a complete like this is the underworld, dark underbelly. That's not the big. There's this big war coming out on here, and this is what's going on with the guys in the shadows.
Well, they did some cool books around that where it was like a ton of short stories that really took something that was like a minute coverage in the movie and then blew it out into.
Last thing I remember,
100
like
pages of story.
Last thing I remember like this that I really enjoyed, and you're going to hate me for this, Matrix.
I enjoyed The Matrix.
I enjoyed the Matrix movies.
I love the Matrix.
Even when it got a little Dragon Ball Z at the end.
But
another one, Heroes. And not for just sitting there and watching the show, but Heroes did this and Matrix did this as well, where they had these comics. And you could go on, and it was expanding the universe out. And Heroes did a really good job. And again, talking about that having a contained world in movies and expanding it out, is from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, who are veteran writers for comic books. They actually, I think both of them started Smallville, if I'm not mistaken. But they were able to create that narrative in that world, much like they've learned from DC and Marvel. Like they apply like all the good points of DC and Marvel to the TV writing world and expanded it with all their little web series and their comic books and everything. It makes you feel rewarded for checking in for that other thing. We talk about web series over these past 10 years. I think it was like the perfect example of all that kind of stuff.
I think Covert Affairs is doing that, which is a USA TV show. Yeah.
Walking Dead's going to be doing spin-offs. They did a spin-off web series, you know.
Heroes might come back. They might have like another...
I heard speculations of that.
Yeah, I heard of
that's horrible. They shouldn't do that at all.
You know what? Actually, and Chachi's in the chat room. He can probably speak to this if he's still hanging out in there. He's actually started over watching Heroes.
I started that like 6 months ago, and I got through most of season 1.
I never finished season 4. I just never got around to it. So I'm like, you know what? And he keeps telling me about, I love this part. I'm like, I want to watch that again, you know, and then I can sit down and slam through the whole thing. I think it would be really rewarding to do that.
Heroes keeps getting recommended to me, which is odd because since I'm a cord cutter, I have TiVo as my DVR. It's like, oh, you're watching S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, because we know you're a Netflix customer. Oh, you'd probably like Heroes. So like it keeps getting thrown in my face with all the different things I'm watching.
Yeah, Netflix does that. It keeps throwing me weird stuff. Of course, in 2 weeks we get the next chapter in this whole Marvel thing. We got Thor coming up.
Yes, this is the one that of the 3 right now. This is the one that I'm pretty much most excited for.
More than X-Men?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for X-Men. I was because I really like the revamp that they did with X-Men. I like these characters. I like the way it's filmed. But this trailer confused me. I'm not sure what's going on with Wolverine. Like, okay, is he going into the past to mold Xavier and Magneto? And that's where it got me. I'm like, why? He is the worst character to kind of mold the path for these guys.
But isn't that what happened?
Maybe it'll be explained. I don't know if this is part of a comic book that I just never read.
Well, I think it's again the original story, and I'm trying to see how they're doing this because they're doing a lot of kind of throwbacks. Actually, that like lately there have been a lot of throwbacks to Days of Future Past, and maybe it's in build up to this kind of storyline because there's there's some really interesting time stuff going on with in the comic books, actually, and maybe this is maybe lending to that a little bit too. In the comic books, they did this thing. Of course, if you're not caught up on it, Scott Summers, Cyclops, actually like got the Phoenix and went crazy and killed Xavier. This is like a year ago, so I'm not spoiling. And they actually brought the original 5 X-Men to the present so that Scott can talk some sense into himself. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the series that I'm in right now, and I love it. I kind of want to see the one before that where the Phoenix where Xavier is killed by Scott because of stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, the moment they do it is really kind of anticlimactic. They're like, look, Xavier's dead. It's like, what? You know, it was one of those like crazy crossover books, and they did so much. It's one of those.
But that's not related to this movie, though.
But I thought this movie was based on another.
But this is the whole like this is an old story where
Kitty Pryde gets involved.
There's Kitty Pryde involved, and I think
I thought it was Wolverine and Bishop.
It depends how you're looking at it. They did a version of it in the X-Men cartoon. They've done different versions of this in every version of X-Men that there's been in cartoons and everything like that. I think even like Wolverine and the X-Men did a version of this too. So there's different variations. The main original idea was Sentinels have taken over. They're killing all the mutants. Most of them are dead except for Old Man Wolverine and I guess Kitty Pryde, if I recall. It's been a while since I read this story. So, I mean, they're obviously modifying it for all the crazy crap they've done in the X-Men universe in the movies. Mm-hmm. So, and plus what they've established with First Class, which again is a little bit different than, it's like the first X-Men did not involve, Mystique and Beast and they didn't even have Angel, okay, Beast.
Wait, the first X-Men?
The first X-Men had Beast, but he wasn't blue.
And they had Sabretooth. They had a clip of Sabretooth. He appeared when Wolverine was boxing at the beginning of the movie. At the very beginning of X-Men 1.
Okay.
There's a scene where Rogue runs away.
Yeah.
And ends up in like upstate Canada or something. I don't know. And Wolverine's like on the street and they allude to the fact like there's this Sabretooth type character that busts down a tree in front of a truck or something. I can't remember exactly what happened. It's been so long.
It was Sabretooth, but it was a different version of Sabretooth. Yeah, again, there's just a lot of it doesn't connect in the movie universe. So that's why I keep wondering if this is like it seems like they're reconnecting all that stuff they've let loose. I love that Bryan Singer is back with it because I thought he did an amazing job with the first 2.
Oh yeah. They're molding both of the X-Men. I just remembered that. That's annoying.
It's annoying? Really?
I would love, besides the guy, I don't know his name, and I'm sorry, Internet. The guy that plays Magneto is a freaking awesome actor.
Fassbender? Or
the new Magneto or the old Magneto?
The old Magneto.
Wait, the older guy or from the older
The older
movies?
guy. The older guy. The guy from
You mean Gandalf?
Gandalf. I think he was an awesome Magneto. I mean, the new Magneto and the new series are good too, but I see them bringing the old characters back, and I don't like Hugh Jackman. I'm sorry again, Internet. He's a horrible Wolverine.
By the way, you're looking for Ian McKellen, I believe.
I'm not excited. I want to be excited though. I'm going to see this because I like the style that this is filmed. It seems like a more serious, more raw, more not dark, but just handled more seriously than the jokes that we got in X-Men 1, 2, and 3.
It was a different time. It's before we had the Dark Knight. Come on, man. You're allowed to be a little
Was it a different time? They're bringing the gorgeous Halle Berry back. She's attractive, but she does not need to be in any more X-Men movies.
And they had to like alter all her filming and all her cutscenes because she was pregnant.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I wonder if they're going to show her like chest up in a lot of scenes or turned
it's
around.
Also I watched a little because it was advertised like right beside. Actually, it's on this page too. The press conference from Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, where they had everybody. What does Peter Dinklage play?
He is He's the guy from the company that created Wolverine.
Oh, that's right. He's Trask.
Trask.
Yeah, he's Bolivar Trask, which actually is a Sentinel creator, I believe. You're thinking, it's slipping my mind. The other guy. But yeah,
are we going to see the Sentinels, Striker. Or is this going to be alluded to it?
They had a head.
I'm watching the trailer again. I don't.
No, they don't allude to anything with Sentinels. But all the teasers before this have been like Trask Industries and pictures of Sentinels and like advertisers with Sentinels.
And I think at San Diego Comic-Con they had one of the heads.
Yeah, I think they're hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that could be good.
I think there's a lot you didn't see in this trailer. It feels like a lot of the stuff feels like it's been edited around. You know, and it's not very clear. Although it's really weird that they did say, yeah, you're going to be a younger you.
Maybe for Super Bowl commercial.
Like for Wolverine. Maybe there you go. That's where you're going to see your Sentinel is the Super Bowl. But excited for it. Mulango, the chat room's saying that you hate everything.
I know. Hey, I am, what did we call me last week? I am a movie snob.
You're a movie snob. Oh, no, or what hipster was it? Or
hipster?
Snob? I don't know.
That's my angry face.
No, because if he was a hipster, he'd want all the old stuff, like the old TV.
Oh, the first
Spider-Man
was the
TV
best.
shows.
The Spider
from the 70s, where like you can blatantly tell he's like climbing across the floor. That's a painting of a building.
I like the 1989 Batman. Didn't get much better than that.
Oh man, I just feel like I'm not going to critique this anymore. I want to see it, so I'm not gonna put myself down. But like I've said in the past, which I'll give X-Men credit for, if the trailer is too good, don't go see the movie.
Because it's all the good parts, right?
It's all the good parts.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, what else we got to talk about here?
Oh, hey, so Rotten Tomato did a top 100, or their top 100 poll on scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking through it, and I feel like the scary movies that I watch must not be scary enough, because the closest to number one on this list that freaked me out, that I've actually, I guess, seen, was Aliens. The top 5, I don't think I was born when they came out.
That's an interesting distinction. They just haven't gotten better, man. There you go. There's your movie history. There you go. You got Gold Dust, or what is that? Poltergeist. I don't know how that other thing came out. I'm getting ready for my other show. The Dead Zone, Near Dark, Conjuring, Attack the Block. That's a horror movie? Never seen that one.
It's not a horror movie. I don't know why. They do have a lot of jumping out at you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're consisting of horror these days.
Yeah, it is. Any suspense, The Fly, Shaun of the Dead. Really, we're counting Shaun of the Dead? That's kind of a comedy, but still a lot of gore, you know.
Zombieland was
Fright Night, that's a classic.
More of a comedy.
Zombieland, but it's still gory. It still counts, I think. I think Carrie is at number 48. We've been talking about that the last couple of weeks.
Dawn of the Dead is number 35.
Makes sense.
So, I mean, and that's the original. Cabin in the Woods, I think, was a little better than what they put it at, 32. But, I mean, if this is a course of history, then I guess I could say that this holds up.
Yeah, because you got to think, because I think you're looking at old movies. Like, you know, there's a 1958 Fly they're holding as higher regard than that. I think the other one's from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to think, you got to take everything in. Like, if you watch, you know, Night of the Living Dead, the original, and now you're like, I don't know if I get it. You know, it's a different time, it's a different style. We expected different things. You know, just like Spider-Man 1 was an amazing movie 15 years ago, but maybe it's like, it's a little campy. I don't know about this one.
And Spider-Man 2 sucked.
And Spider-Man, what?
It was bad.
Spider-Man 3 was bad.
3 was horrible.
3 was bad. I thought the Doc Ock one was the best one. That's a whole. We're back to that. But anyways, same with the horror movies, though. You know, I mean, I went back, you know, several years ago. Like I said, I went back and watched all the Halloween movies. I had never seen them, and I'm just like, why did we like this? You know, in the long run.
Like, I heard The Fly was good. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of my traditions is playing scary movies during Halloween. That's what we do. We throw Halloween parties. So maybe I go through this list and I just start finding scary movies that might be good. I mean, the Alien series was freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that still scares me.
Dude, I watched that new prequel-y one they did. Prometheus.
I thought that was great.
That was a lot more than I expected.
I think the soundtrack, though, the guy that does the soundtrack to that does a phenomenal job. That whole movie had a great feel of just like nothing good can happen.
Yes.
But that's what I mean.
And it surprises you.
That's where a good soundtrack.
And it surprises you because you get halfway through the movie before anything happens, and I think that's a good horror movie because like nothing happens for the first half of Halloween, or something like that, and then all of a sudden
that's really
people are dropping, Yeah, exactly. Yeah. First half of Alien, nothing happens. It's all spooky stuff. Maybe you get one guy busting out of a chest, but other than that, and then it's just like bam, bam, bam. It builds up that suspense for like over an hour. Like when stuff like started happening, I'm like, this is like a 2.5 hour movie, and I'm like just through the first hour. It's gonna get crazy beyond that. But yeah, that's a good taste of it. So.
All right, well, okay, let's wind things down because I'm gonna go check out Ender Game, which has been getting a lot of hype. So we're going to go see if it lives up to the hype. But with that note, there are 4 big movies coming out this weekend. 2 of them I've seen, and I gave my reviews on the past shows. But we have Ender Game, which is the one that I think will take it this weekend in the box office. It seems like it's very much anticipated. I did hear one review that was kind of funny, saying that a lot of this action that we see on screen comes from children, but I think the story will be compelling enough to hold people's attention. It's sci-fi, so I mean, I'm excited. We got Free Birds, an animation. I was supposed to see this one for free. That being said, I missed it. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Is this?
I don't know if I'm going to spend the $13 for a movie ticket to go see this, unless I have like nieces and nephews pulling on my like coat saying, "We want to see this movie." Then you got Las Vegas and About Time. I think I've had my past reviews, but based on this lineup, I don't see any of those 2 movies doing well this week. So it might be more for. Actually, it'd be interested to see if these 3 movies, seeing how they both start in the beginning of November, how long they actually build. All 3 of those movies, Freebirds, Las Vegas, and About Time, can make a large majority of their money back at the end of November, when people are actually on vacation with Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So we've got from the chat room, you're a curmudgeon, according to the chat room, and here's a review for Ender Game in advance. It's terrible. That's what they're expecting for next week.
We shall see.
We'll see. Well, thanks, Mulango. Thanks, Chilla, for joining us, talking some superhero movies with us.
Thanks for having me.
He joins us on Awesome Cast. You can check that out at sorgatronmedia.com, of course. You're at Chilla.
In like 10 minutes.
In like 10 minutes, yeah. And Mulango at Rambling Mango.
Yep. The site's actually almost done. I got a new page up, so we're figuring out dimensions for the comic strip. Awesome. So hopefully in 2 weeks we should have some movie reviews via comic strip up, which would be cool.
So hopefully that'll line up with our number 10 episode where we start letting more people know that we're doing the show.
Yeah,
that'll line up definitely. A little bit, a little more promotion. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. So we'll have this down, and I'll know what to call the show at the beginning of the show. Because that's been an issue.
And also, I think the other big thing we could talk about, November 8th, is the release of Thor.
Yes.
So we would like to have a big Google Hangout, or a Google Hangout. We don't know if it'll be big or not. But if you're interested, hit us up. Either hit me up on Twitter or, write into Mike and say, hey, I'd like to be on that show.
That's right.
Where we could get people's opinions. We could have a good back and forth.
And we did this before. And we did these before for Awesome Cast back when the Facebook movie came out, Social Network. And we did this where we just kind of went to a coffee shop afterwards, put up a couple cameras, and I kind of post-edited it, you know. But I like we have Google Hangout. We can do this. We don't have to all get together. We can all see it Friday night. Just hop on later, and that's up for people to check out over the weekend. I really love that idea. If you are interested, again, hit up Mulango at Rambling Mango. I'm at Sorgatron on Twitter, or hit up at Sorgatron Media, also on Twitter. And you can also join us here live. We start the show roundabout, usually a little later, after 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time at live.sorgatronmedia.com. So go check us out. Join us in the chat room, and you can tell Mulango how much you think he hates movies, like Chachi does during the show, and all that kind of stuff. Or tell him how much you agree to him, and everything in the theater sucks these days.
That's true.
So thanks, Mulango, Chilla, and we'll see you guys next week on The Minute.